I'm Joff Bush, the lead composer of Bluey. Today we're recording pieces of music for the next upcoming Bluey album. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks again. Yay! The difference between the episode music and what we're doing today is that in the episode, the music only goes for about 40 seconds. And we didn't get to do all the things we wanted to do. We wanted to record horns and the string ensemble and all these different musicians, but we didn't have much time to do it. What we're doing today is we're expanding on that little 40-second piece of music into a 3-minute track that sort of encapsulates the spirit of that episode.
It's like experiencing the episode again, but through the music rather than through the whole story itself. You're only hearing the music, and that's what tells the story completely.
Camerata is a string ensemble here in Queensland.
It's funky little harmonies, but I checked it with the guitars. Like, no, I think I know what he's doing.
It does sound cool. You're right. Yeah. I should never doubt you. That's Joe Twist, who's not only writes some music with me on the show, but he's my main orchestrator and arranger.
I like it, the aggression of diddle-diddle-diddle, or do you want it smoother, Joff? What do you reckon?
I like the aggression. It's good.
All right, keep it as is.
Yeah.
We'll just get it tight. Orchestrator would just be that you took what they did and you put it in the score and you made decisions about who's playing what. Literally just, oh, will I have all the violins on this line, or will I have just a couple, and will I double it with violas? Do we put a flute on top? That kind of thing. And we work on that together. Like Joff says, oh, I don't think I like it like that, or why don't you do this, or why don't you add a bit of whatever?
Let's lose the bass at 33. And what we're going to do is we're going to lose the first violins from 9, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
So those little things. So we just get the little pits thing, so we've got the option. And then we might as well keep going and do that cue in the violin.
Okay, so have the seconds play that little bit.
Yeah.
But then other times they'll be arranging things where I'll just take it to a whole different place.
Should we simplify the arrangement for that bit?
Oh, it fits though. Like because I was listening with Dave's guitars and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, it fits. That's a sus chord there, kind of thing. But you could do a take without violas maybe, and just to be safe. And
yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Let's leave them out for a bit.
The hardest thing for me is letting it go, because I can't do everything. I just need to be able to go, no, this will be great. But it's great to have someone like Joe.
Lucius Lüske kind of texture. Yeah, that kind of thing. Exactly.
He's got a really great sense of clarity about his work, which I particularly love, and an incredibly distinct composer as well, which is pretty rare in the orchestral world.
I think it'll be cool if we actually flip it and have the seconds do the trems. No one else is allowed to play the seagulls, only the cellos.
Yeah. So let's make sure 46, the violins are holding that right to the end of the bar.
Okay.
The longer the better, because we're going to have a bit of a dialogue moment there.
Sure.
And 42 and 43, one thing that was a little bit off about it. But other than that, it was really great. That's really unhelpful feedback, but
just make it better.
Well, something like, I don't know what it was, but yeah. But otherwise, it's really beautiful, and I love what you're doing.
What are you two doing over here?
Was doing score supervision.
Score supervision.
Yeah, so we try and note take what we know, what takes are good, which parts were good in what take. It just really helps in post production, where like, oh, that take was really good from take 4, but take 3 had this bit of take, so that's we focus on that.
Yeah. There is a certain magic about having live players all in the same room. Even though we can't be as particular with the certain sounds, or because it's all in the same room, we can't bring out certain instruments as much as we might like. It's worth that trade-off for the energy that brings. Let's do softer here. We're constantly reminding ourselves going, oh wait, we don't have to have a 2/4 bar there or something. We can just play it as a piece of music and treat it as a piece of music. That's absolutely gorgeous. And also, Brandon, if you're doing that solo, you feel free to play that however you want as well. What you're playing is great, so, you know.
What does that mean?
As in, like, if you wanted to, if you feel a vibe to be like, ba da 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 da, whatever, just do whatever.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But if you're happy with how it is, just go do what it is. But like, this is your moment. Yeah, just shred. Oh. Oh, hello. All right, fancy man. Great. We're adding entirely new sections to the music as well. And some of them were things that were originally in the episode that we took out because it didn't match the picture so much. But we're letting the music be everything we wanted it to be.
Da 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 dun dun dun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom! Dad! Bingo! Bluey!
There really isn't a like, oh, you just do this and you just do that, because we all hang out. And I think what Joff really likes in particular is that people offer their own creativity. He doesn't like try and grab onto, oh, I want to do all this and like just delegate all these things. He just takes ideas and we all do it together.
Nothing really compares to having live musicians playing, especially if they're having a good time. That's what does connect, that energy. No one's listening to the MIDI version of Mahler's Fifth. They're like, even those samples, can sound pretty realistic. Like you might be able to play it to most people. I can't tell the difference. But there's an energy, there's certain little quirks that somebody might play. Someone might play out of tune, but it just somehow blends in a way that inspires. And but that's probably one of the biggest things about these recordings that hope to get out, which is even though we're back there focusing on making sure we don't get any mistakes, the most important thing for me is really the energy, because you can fix mistakes. You can tune, Melodyne's amazing, you can tune things, but you can't fix energy and you can't change vibe. Cool.
Great.
All right.
How was that?
That's great. I think we start to lose a little bit of the tightness at bar 12, and I think it's reaching for that little pits. It's a little bit of a tricky one. On bar 9 and 10, let's lose the pit stuff. So we're just going to hold the note at bar 9 and then come in at the end of bar 10. But don't worry about playing there. We'll do a drop in.
The music now is painting the picture, because there is no picture, I guess. So we really go to town in terms of making arrangements and orchestrations that kind of bring it all to life. Let's just grab this little bit of pizzicato from 5 to 7.
Nice. I remember seeing a concert when I was 15 and just thinking, this is the most beautiful thing in the world, and I want to be part of that. To be able to do this and be able to work with lots of different musicians and make something beautiful. I imagine it's the same feeling that photographers have when they first develop their own pictures. Like, you know what it is, you've seen the negative, you can imagine it in your head, but to hear it sort of come to life is just, it feels like some sort of magic. That's a wrap. All the recordings sounded absolutely incredible. The energy and the fun sort of really shone through.
Happy days.
Yay!
Love it.
Thanks, everyone. Music is the most beautiful thing in the world. I just want to be part of that.